Good morning and welcome. Just making sure I have my dragon, my intuition, my third eye, my connection to source picture. Because I'm feeling so connected to the dragons recently, and they've been coming through for many months, on and off throughout the years, but feeling really strong dragon energy coming through. As you can see, I'm not really ready, but I don't care. I'm showing up the way I'm showing up these days, and I've earned that, I think we all earn it as well, because we put so much pressure on ourselves to be, all made up and have this face of perfect makeup and all of that, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I will never say there's anything wrong with that. I just want to show up authentic these days, and that's with hairs out of place, and yeah, I've got a cold sore on my lip, because I've been working really hard, transmuting some lower energies over the weekend at my well-being, taking that on board, so I take that on board, and I transmute when I'm doing these healing sessions. Yeah, I transmute that energy and turn it into light, and yeah, and it's all these things around me that I surround myself with that help me do that. So my dragon picture was channeled by my lightworker friend Chrissy, who's also got online TikTok, Sacred Energy Heart now that she's changed it to, because she's reinventing herself, and I feel like I've been reinventing myself. And spiritual awakening, yeah, the new world that you are opened up to. So this is part 2 of the dragon reading. Yes, this whole new world, and I could break out in that song, a whole new world. That's spiritual awakening. I love it when my songs come through. Yeah, a whole new world, and I'm in the Disney now, twirling around the ballroom Disney. Yeah, I get the visions very strongly now, so that's part of my reinvention. It's brought more and more gifts back to me, more remembrance, because I've rebooted my DNA, that remembrance of who El truly is, and talking about reinvention. So this well-being fair that I knew I had to do, spirit coming through, my angels, Mary Magdalene very strongly was the reason why I was being prepared for this well-being, from when we heard of it and we set things in motion, me and my lightworker friend Chrissy, because we shared a tent, we shared our space, and we was each other's support, so she balanced me out and I balanced her out, and it just worked perfectly. It just merged beautifully. That synergy was, yeah, it's beautiful. But talking about reinventions, yeah, my full name is a different name, it's quite an old name. It's part of, so my mum's name, I've got a longer version of her name, so I won't disclose that, but I go by Ellie sometimes, so I've shortened my name, throughout the years. Just preferred Ellie, to my actual birth name. Nothing against it. I just everyone called me Ellie. But when it came to reinventing myself and designing my cards, really coming out of that spiritual closet and showing, the world, the real version of me, I shortened it to L, so ELL, and on my card, I'm coming out as the L's Rose Path, Oracle, Heart Healing, Mystic Divine Feminine Wisdom, you know, who offers Reiki, angelic Reiki, personal readings, multidimensional healing, and light language. So it's all on there, you know. Yeah, I could have gone all out and I could have said High Priestess of the Rose Path, the Mary Magdalene, all of that. But you know, I had all that on show. So I had a corner devoted to Mary Magdalene. And I always remember going to the Cave of Eggs in France, which was not long back. And I remember just stood in that cave after 8 long years of deep healing, you know, going through my shadows, having clearer eyes to see and ears to hear. You know, that takes deep introspection. That takes going into your fear. You know, this dragon, it's fire. Yeah, that takes a person to walk through fire. When you are facing your fear, yeah, you become, you know, this fire dragon, because you're on fire when you're walking through that fire. You know, you do. You begin to light up also. You know, I can just see himself lighting up with this fire. Yeah, you become more independent. Yeah, you become fiery. I've always had a bit of a fiery side. I'm a Leo, but also a really nice side, you know, lovely nature, caring for others, which I'm now beginning to understand that it's pretty rare. Didn't know how rare these qualities was, but the angelic qualities, you know, that I hold inside. Didn't know that. I just thought I was doing what everybody was doing, caring for others. You know, isn't that what we're supposed to do? You know, so it wasn't no different. But as I've faced my fears, and I've, you know, faced my shadows and healed my shadows, yeah, I've brought back more self-worth. So I do realise now that these qualities that I've been giving out freely, not everybody has them. No. And I realise that because this timeline that I'm in, where I realise I'm a 144, chosen, you know, chosen soul to do this. Like there's many of us, the 144, you may have heard of us, we're all over. Yeah, we're all over because this timeline, we're needed. So, you know, we as souls, ancient souls, many multidimensional parts of ourselves has retained since we have woke up to our awakening, our path, and this new world. It was a whole new world for us. I'm not going to sing again. Whoop, and that dragon's flying. So it was a whole new world, and in that whole new world, when we woke up, we was waking up earlier than others, you know. So we was like, what's happening to us? Like, we was, you know, I can't speak for others, but I know I was at this end. I was like, do I need to go see a doctor? Am I going, you know, yeah, like, you go through all that. You go through all them human emotions, like, you know, when people call you crazy and all of that, label you. You do that to yourself anyway. So others doing that to you, yeah, it's hurtful. At the beginning stage, it's really hurtful, because you're like, well, I'm dealing with enough. Can you not see? I'm just hanging on by a thread. I'm dealing with enough, you know. I'm facing my fears. I'm going into my shadows. I'm finding my independence. I'm finding my self-worth. I'm reinventing myself. So these shadows of yourself, when you face your fear, I hear me talk about caves. Yeah, talk about caves because Mary Magdalene has returned to me. And that knowing that I had to go into the cave inside myself, because that's where you truly heal, you know. Not on the outside, not with others holding you up and supporting you. You are your support. You are on your own in that cave. You are facing your fear. You are healing your shadows. I say healing them because you don't get rid of your shadows. you balance. It's about balance. So you find your light in them shadows by facing your fear. Coming head to head, you know. I've had a meditation before, I've had many. And I've been at a bridge and there's been a dragon in my way. You know, there's been something stopping me, you know, what I thought was fear, you know, my fear. And I've literally just stared it in the face. And then I started shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And then it became nothing, you know. I wasn't scared anymore. Yeah, I've had meditations like that. Beautiful meditations. All to do with healing. All to do with facing my fear. All to do with, you know, balancing my shadows. Finding my self-worth. Yeah, so I was speaking to a lady at the Wellbeing, and everything's connected, you know. So everywhere I get sent, everywhere I feel drawn to, everything that I do, every word that I speak on here, there's codes, you know, that it's all connected. There's reasons why we do things like we do, you know. I can just see that more clearly now because my eyes are open, you know, and my ears, so I can see the weaving of God's plan for me, you know, and many on earth, helping others find this new world, what we saw coming, you know, years prior to it coming. Because we're the light workers, we're the light seeds, we're the way showers, we're doing things a different way, we're breaking down all the old paradigms, and we're builders of the new world. So we had to see it crumble prior to everybody else seeing it crumble. We had to walk through our fire, we had to face the dragons, you know, inside us, you know. Yeah, what I was facing was a dragon. I realised I didn't have to be scared of this dragon, you know, and dragon energies returned to me, and I'm not scared of it. No, because again, when I was facing my dragons, my fears, I'd been locked into that societal programming of, you know, when you watch these films of dragons, well, they're depicted as scary and threatening, and you know, they'll flame throw you, you know, and no, but that is exactly what I saw when I was facing my fear, was a dragon. So it's quite that it's returned that I'm not scared of dragons, and I wanted to work with the dragon energy, and the dragon energy is working through me. So it's about facing our fears, you know, and understanding that what we've been scared of all along, it's just that programming, it's that ego, it's that ancestral that's been passed down, you know, from our ancestors to us. It's societal programming, it's the suppression, it's our voices being took, it's all of that. It's about control. Everything that they took from us, it's control. They place fear to control us. And now I'm not scared of dragons anymore. I am a dragon. I hold this fire inside me, and so do you. So why should we be scared of ourselves, you know? We shouldn't. No. So, yeah, it's come full circle for me. Reinvention. Yeah, when you go into your healing, your spiritual awakening, your dark night of your soul, your kundalini rising, it's all reinventing yourself. So, yeah, I'm called Elle now. Don't ask me why I chose Elle, because I quite honestly cannot say why, you know, but I reckon it's to do with my new identity, and I chose this, you know. Nobody chose it for me, I chose this. So when people started calling me Ellie, I didn't choose for them people to start calling me Ellie. I've got a name, you know, a longer name, but people started calling me Ellie, and I took that on board, you know. So like that programming, I just went along with it, and yeah, just over the years, just kept telling. But I chose Elle. I chose this identity, me, because why? Because for facing my dragons and my fire and walking through the fire, I've become independent. So I found that independence. I found that freedom, you know, and that self-worth for myself. So yeah, I had this conversation with this lady at the Wellbeing, and she went, "Is that your name?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's my new name. It's my new identity." So full on reinvention of myself, you know, and I know my family and my friends can see this also. And also, I've got heart healing, mystic divine feminine on here, but I've got mystic healer. Yeah, I am a mystic healer. I was a healer in many, many of my lifetimes, past lifetimes. I think I've been a healer in every lifetime. You know, I'm still unearthing more and more about myself because, like I say, I've got multi-dimensional on here. There's layers, you know, and you never stop. I don't believe you're ever going to stop unlayering layers and layers of consciousness. Even if you reach that avatar, you know, that 12-strand DNA, I think there's more. I think we're like a well of spiritual wisdom, you know. This well is deep. I see a well that's going deep. I'm in the magical forest now. I love it. So if I just go off on that's my visions coming through. I can see a beautiful well in a sacred forest. And there's all codes and wisdom in this well, you know. And you know when you go like that with the wheel and you're pulling up these codes and this wisdom, we are the well. We are the well of wisdom, and we go very, very, very deep. Yeah, pulling these codes up. Just 1 minute while I pull my codes up. Yeah, and there's more and more and more and more returning to us in our well of wisdom. Love it. I love it. Right, so yeah, so my reinvention, I go by L, and I go by L on here also, and it just, you know, organically unfolded that way, just like the rose petals. I'm starting to bloom more and more and more, you know. Now I've found my rose. Now I know I am the rose, and you are the rose. I'm starting to bloom more and more and more, and become the true version I've always been, you know. Not the version that society told me I should be. So, yeah, that came with me being catapulted into a whole new world. And yeah, it wasn't like Disney, you know. It wasn't no fairy tale. The awakening is not Disney. It's not Disneyland. I can see Disneyland now. Yeah, it's not Disneyland. It's yeah, fresh. You feel like you're fighting, you know, your dragons. You feel like you're up against everybody. Yeah, you feel like this as well. All eyes are on you because you start acting a bit more strange, you know. You start like, well, you reinvent yourself. You know, you get your old identity from who you are. Get stripped away. That's your dark night of the soul. That's your shadows. That's you going into your fear. So people were like, what's going on with her? You know, what's going on with her? Yeah. You're not the same person. You're not that version of who you was. You know, your expression. Yeah. It says expression on it, yeah. You express things a lot differently. You come across to others. And we're like, you know, I start talking differently. My ancient soul language. I started talking that. I've done it in my Reiki sessions and my online sessions that I, you know, offer. But I've never done it at a well-being fair in front of many, many people walking by, as well as combined with the sacred, where's my oil gone? I did have my oil, it's disappeared. Oh, it's here. As well as my my anointing gifts that have returned back to me. No, but you know, again, this reinvention of myself to my wholeness of myself, my true version. So the knowing of my Mary Magdalene gives the verse path, what I used to do in another past life, anointing. Yeah, they've said I have the gifts of prophecy, the oracle. Hence why I put on. Did I put the oracle on here? Yeah, the oracle. Yeah, I know I've got the gifts of the oracle. I know I've got the Mary Magdalene codes inside of me, my DNA. I know all of that. I've woke all that up by moving through my 12 strands of DNA, you know, unlayering, yeah, this well. So more codes I've returned back to myself, the more wisdom in that well. We are well. So I've gone deep into this well, you know. I like this same analogy of the well, because we usually go about caves, don't we? Yeah, cave and the well. They're deep, aren't they? These places that we go to, they're very, very deep. And they have to be, because that's where you unlayer your sacred parts of yourself. You know, I'm just going to anoint myself because I'm just feeling the need to. So, love the smell of this. Yeah, and just that smell, you know, just awakens something in me that I don't know when I've done this before. I've done it in a lifetime. I used to anoint people with the oils, the sacred oils, you know. And this is Rose of Sharon oil. And usually I use frankincense and myrrh. But no, she said we need the Rose of Sharon oil. So yeah, it's my intuition, yeah. My higher self. It's on point now, I'm third eye, it's open. So yeah, expression. Yeah, I'm expressing myself more. And I was, you know, I was stood there and it was just flowing. Mary was just flowing, the codes was just flowing through me. And it was just, yeah, it was just beautiful. And it's freeing, you know, to express yourself. And not be scared of what others think of you, you know, because, yeah, we're all different. Like, my lightworker friend, she's expressing herself, but she expresses who she truly is through creations like this, you know. So she'll bring your higher self through and the energy that you need. So that's why I have this picture next to me, because it's energy. It's the energy that I need, you know. So a third eye, intuitive. Yeah, it was. I'm saying to read a little bit about this expression. So yeah, I've got that song. Express yourself, you got to express yourself. Hey, hey. So if you want it right now, let me, yeah. Express what you got, baby, ready or not. Madonna, that, isn't it? Yeah, I love it when they have me singing and dancing as well. Yeah, they have me expressing myself in all sorts of ways. So dancing, singing. Yeah, I don't think I was a singer in my past life. No. I've always danced, you know. I've always felt like I had a past life dancing also, because I danced as a child. I used to do like contemporary dancing. I never went to a school of training. Just felt it, you know, in my body. And then I've started to recently like just dance, and then you might have seen us on TikTok doing all the codes and dancing. And people will be like, what's she doing? Yeah, we're going to get that, you know, because we're showing a new world that we can express ourselves, we can be free, and, you know, and not be scared of what others think of us, because we are the builders of the new world. We're showing others they can also express themselves and be free and not care what others think of them. It takes so much energy, doesn't it? It's all energy, you know. So, well, I've just turned it to the Rose. So I guess I'm supposed to read this one, but the card's not come out. But going with my intuition, you know, the Rose. I turned it to the Rose for a reason. So the rose, we all live in two worlds, one of understanding and thinking, and one of the heart, of feeling. Our daily experiences are stored in the world of understanding, but the emotions that accompany them, love, happiness, fear, sadness, are in the heart. Our heart speaks to us when we are asleep at night. It often asks for help and we simply fail to notice. In our fast-paced world, there is no time to wake up slowly and allow the night's dreams to linger with us for a moment. If you have drawn this card, it is because your heart is asking for help. Work on your heart for 7 days. Invite the pink dragon. I'm going to find the card because there's a reason why I flipped to this. And right next door to the heart, there's scars. The dragon of scars. Yeah, when you start going into your heart, you know, you're going into your scars. Yeah, you're looking at your scars. Yeah, and you're finding the light in them scars, you know, and all that you've been through and all that you've come through. You start to wear them scars with pride, you know, and you're like, yeah, been a warrior. What, I've starved. Yeah, and then that opens up something, you know, in your heart, and you're like, you start to feel again, and your self-worth and all of that comes back. When this sacred heart is open, it changes everything, you know. It's a game changer. You start to see the world through clearer eyes, you know. You start to see truth, all of that. Once that heart's open, yeah, like, it's a game changer. You go through life with your heart closed. You know, most of us do. I can't speak for us, and I never would, but I know my heart was closed. I couldn't even find me out. I had to go in this deep, deep dive, you know, to the well, the bottom of my well. And like, find me out first, and then I had to heal my heart. And by healing my heart, I had to look at the scars and the wounds and the traumas and the fear and all of that, you know, that was wrapped around my heart, suffocating my heart. I couldn't even find it. Yeah. And then when I found it, I was like, wait, found my heart again. It's had to piece it back together, you know. And then piece by piece, those things return to me. So my self-worth, my gratitude, my independence, my expression, my love, self-love. That's the key. It's the key to everything. Because if you don't love yourself, how can you give love to others and expect others to give love to you? You can't. It's all to do with self-love. And the minute you choose yourself and the minute you choose that you want your heart, you know, it's your heart. Belongs to you, nobody else. It's a game changer. I can see your game being changed now. You know, when you're kids and like I'm putting Mario in and taking another one out. Yeah. Game changer. So yeah, it says, work on your heart for 7 days. Invite the pink dragon to come to you. Buy roses of any colour. Yeah, I'm surrounded with, you know, roses, and I bought roses to take to my Mary Magdalene first outing of anointing, offering anointing to the public. It took me a lot, you know, to do that, but I knew that Mary was with me. I knew it was the right thing to do. I was being guided by my intuition because my heart's open. You know, my heart's open for myself, and not from an ego place, but I love myself now. I know my worth, I know my gifts. You know, I had this revelation on this journey. Yeah, I know who I am, wholly who I am. So I knew I'd find the right people, you know, and I was there to find the right people, and it all just beautifully unfolded like the petals of a rose, you know, because it's a rose garden. It's just, yeah, and I put a trail of rose petals leading to the tent also, so you could, you know, because on my travels to France, Provence, to the Cave of Eggs, again, Mary called me back there, you know, if you've got a link if you've got a connection to Mary and the rose path and all of that, you'll hear her call. You know, you'll be drawn to roses. You'll be drawn to heart healing. You'll be drawn to, you know, all things that connect you with that. That's how it started working for me. My very first candle I was drawn to making, the fragrance was Indian rose and musk. But it had to have the rose quartz crystals. So I had to have that energy as well as the fragrance. So I had to have a combination of things for this candle to, you know, fully, like, for me to be satisfied with, yeah, that's it, we've got the formula. So I had to have, yeah, the formula, you know, that's what we're putting together. So I can see now, when these alchemists, you know, put things together, don't they, and they transmute, take things from metal to gold. Yeah, I can see himself now, you know, making this candle and taking it from nothing to a beautiful creation. And that's what we're doing, you know. We're going from the matrix, so the lower dense energies of, that's all we are. That is all we are, you know. And we're taking our body to that crystalline light. So we're going from carbon to crystalline, that 12-strand DNA. And that's the well, that's where we uncover things and we return things back to us. The deep well, you know, in this sacred forest. But we don't know in the sacred forest because nobody's ever told us, you know. We've had to go discover it ourselves. And that yeah, discovering more and more about this deep well of myself, you know. And that day, the well-being, I discovered more and more. So things that I'd not been doing was just flowing through me. I know where it's coming from. It's coming from the Most High, you know. It's Mary. She talks through the women of this generation. The message has come back. But yeah, it wasn't just about the women that day. No, I anointed a man. It's about the balance, the divine feminine energy and the divine masculine energy. And he was there for me to bring that divine feminine energy towards him, you know, quite clearly. So unfolds, you know. Got a divine plan for us all. So yeah, that's why I've read this. Yeah, buy yourself some roses of any colour. Surround yourself with roses. I love roses. I'm going to get some roses for in here. I have been looking for a screen of roses. But I thought, well, no, you know, we're multi-dimensional. So I'm not just High Priestess of the Rose. I'm not Lemurian. I'm not just shaman. No, I'm multi-dimensional. So I'm surrounded by all my multi-dimensional pieces, you know, that have come to me. Yeah, returned to me. So rose, quartz, dragon, twin flame, Mary. Yeah, many angels, multi-dimensional beings. All of us are. We hold this well of ours goes deep. We hold so much codes, light, parts of ourselves in this deep well. But you've got to do that. You've got to send that bucket up. There you go. Look at that bottom of the deck. Just picked it up. Rose. Mary's speaking so loudly to me lately. How beautiful is this? Yeah, that was another thing as well. So yeah, home. I found home. Truly know where I belong now. Yeah, these cards. So I was working with my light worker friend Chrissy. Divine plan there also, you know. Saw that come in, that oracle in me. Saw that come in, and Chrissy also felt that coming many years ago. But it wasn't until divine timing brought us back together again that, you know, we could work together. No, it's all a divine plan. So she had a few decks of dragon cards that she was selling because she didn't need them anymore at this wellbeing fair. And I kept hearing dragon, dragon, dragon. I was packing up at the end of the day and I kept hearing dragon, dragon, dragon. And I knew it, you know. So my attention went to Chrissy's cards and I was like, Chrissy, can I buy a deck of your cards, please? I keep hearing dragon, dragon, dragon. Again, they were lying in me, you know. They want me to do readings on dragon and bring in that dragon energy, and, you know, yeah. So I was like, so I looked through a few of the decks, and I was drawn to one in particular. But then I came past this one, and I saw the rose, and I was like, yeah, take this one, please, Chrissy. So I was drawn to another pack, but this one, because I have this card in it. Not all of them have the rose in them. So I knew, you know, this was the deck that Spirit wanted me to buy off my friend Chrissy, but she didn't end up selling me it. You know, we energy exchanged, because that's, you know, that's what we believe in, is energy exchange. So yeah, I was meant to find this card today, so I can hear Mary coming through quite clearly today, and it's a 7/7 portal. So I know I'm going to be coming online. I'm going to be doing a healing transmission, and it's going to be Mary Magdalene is coming through loud and clear on this 7/7 portal, and I'm going to bring her cards through the rose energy, the divine feminine, the sovereignty, the inner truth, cards. Yeah, you know, this portal, it's a gateway. It's a gateway for our spiritual awakening. It's transformation, it's manifestation also. Depends on where you are on your path, because everyone's unique. But I will be using this powerful gateway, manifestation, you know, to yeah, what I've been doing all along, you know, building this business online, divinely guided, but still I have to put in that energy, I have to put in that work here. So my manifestation skills, yeah, these portals, these gateways, these eclipses, I work with them, you know, I weave and I work with the energies. And that's what these are for us to keep expanding and spiritually growing. And yeah, some are a bit stronger than others, I'm not gonna lie. Some take me down, and then I'm like, you know, transmute, and then we come out of it, and yeah, we're upgrading. Yeah, you tend to get to know what's happening, you know, with each of these gateways that occur. So yes, there'll be that, and I wrote here, yeah, 7/7 angel number, so there'll be angel number. I'll talk a little bit about after the healing. And 7 represents the eternal seeker of truth. Now 7 is my life path number also. So seeker of knowledge, spiritual wisdom. Yeah, I would say I'm a seeker. I go very, very deep. That well, you know. Yeah, I've gone deep into my well. And it's also right path. Yeah, that you're on the right path. It's also deep intuition. And I've wrote much more there, but I'll talk about that on the healing. Yeah, I'm gonna end with this card, the rose. Yeah. Oh, home. Let's say home. Yeah, a lady at the Wellbeing Fair, she asked me, well, what does the rose of Sharon oil represent then? I said, well, the rose, it's beauty, it's divine feminine, it's love, it's compassion for yourself. And the last word, and she said, well, what's the difference between the heart and the sacred heart? So the sacred heart is that knowing of who we are, you know, truly who we are, our wholeness, our human and our divine. Not just the heart, that's the organ in our physical body. No, it's that wholeness of us, you know, that's what it means to me. But again, I said to her, well, what does it mean to you? Because I wanted her to use her intuition, you know. And that's what Mary Magdalene also brings through for us. You know, she's brought through for me to use my intuition, for me to find my voice. You know, she's bringing the voices back of the silence. You know, her voice was silenced, and she was always going to be a returning prophet. Always, she was always going to return, and she was never walking behind Jesus or Yeshua, as you may know him. She was always his equal. She was the divine feminine to the divine masculine. But they held these two energies inside themselves too. But them two working together was setting a ripple, you know, of the Christ consciousness that would ripple out over time. You know, their teachings, their sacred teachings that they did way back, they've rippled, you know, they could see that. And the returning prophet, you know, she's retained in through the voices of women like me and many that have been doing this work for years prior to me finding my voice, you know, who I've found, who've helped me understand this path more. So home, that's what it means. Finally found home, who I truly am. And I wanted her to find that, and I said, well, what does it mean to you? And I said, well, take pictures of these cards, the Mary Magdalene cards that she drew. So I took these also, because Mary told me to. And look at these cards when you're on your own, and you know, meditate on these cards. And these cards hold remembrance in them. And in time, it'll make more sense. Even if things don't make sense now for you, in time things do. You know. So yeah, this path, this new world to me made no sense at all to me at first. Yeah, I thought when people was calling me Lulu, I was like, you're not wrong, I am Lulu. I was agreeing with them. I was going with it, you know. So I didn't know any better then until I faced my fear. Worked on my shadows, balanced my shadows out, found more divine feminine, divine masculine inside myself. Self-worth, independence, gratitude for this path. Didn't know any better, you know, because it was like that programming. Well, I do now. And it's been a journey back to home. And that's it. It's your sacred heart. Home is. You know when they say home is where the heart is? Yeah! Well, there's many true words spoken in jest, my mum used to say. And I say that also. Yeah, home is where the heart is. It's got to look inside first. Got to heal your heart. Got to find your heart, heal your heart. Then you'll find your home. And I think that's a good place to stop, because we're at 43 minutes, and I'm so sorry if these are too long for you, but again, I channel where I channel, and the message gets to who it's meant to. So have a lovely 7/7 photo, and I'll be back on. But I'm going to get dressed for it. Feel like I need to spruce myself up a little bit, and I'm doing something after it later. Again, to help my expansion, you know. So although I'm helping others and teaching others now, I am still the student. I will always be the student. I'll always be humble enough to be the student. I'll always want to keep learning, absorbing, this spiritual seeker. That's the number 7, spiritual seeker. I will always seek this knowledge. So yeah, back on soon, but I'll be dressed next time. Well, I'm going to do another reading, and then I'm going to get dressed, and I'll be back on soon.